Hello, everyone. My name is Courtney Pollock, and I'm the Customer Marketing Coordinator for SWK Technologies. I'd like to welcome you to our webinar, Best Practices for IT in 2023, How to Stay Ahead of the Curve, presented by Michael Esposito. Before we get started, let's go over some housekeeping items. Everyone has been placed on mute to keep the background noise to a minimum. However, throughout the webinar, you can submit any questions you have. If you'd like to submit a question, look for the questions section in your GoToWebinar or the chat box, and we'll answer all your questions at the end of the presentation. We're also recording this presentation, and it will be distributed tomorrow to all attendees, as well as those who registered but were unable to attend. And finally, we'd appreciate your participation in our closing poll and the Q&A session. With that said, we appreciate you taking time out of your busy day to attend this webinar. We're here to help you get the most out of your software solutions and give insights into the latest trends in IT. For more important updates and software tips and tricks, we encourage you to follow us on our Twitter, LinkedIn, Facebook, and subscribe to our YouTube channel. And now I'm going to hand it over to Mike to get things started.
Hey, thanks, Courtney. Welcome to Best Practices in IT in 2023, How to Stay Ahead of the Curve. My name is Mike Esposito. I'm a technical account manager at SWK on the MCS side. Before we get into our presentation, I wanted to give you a brief rundown of the agenda. First, we'll be talking about the current state of IT. Secondly, we'll be talking about just the importance of knowing what you have, then creating a culture of security, cloud hosting, the importance of budgeting, how SWK can help our managed service offering, and then we'll have a special offer and then do a poll and a Q&A. A quick overview of SWK Technologies. We're a nationally recognized MSP and solution provider in North America and have a nationwide coverage, leveraging over 170 employees to the delight of our customers and enable success. And now let's get into it. Let's go over the current state of IT. Here's the good thing about things right now. We're still using desktops and laptops to access critical business applications. We're still using Microsoft Office and servers. However, businesses need to be open to making changes, sometimes major ones, to adapt to the changing landscapes. What's changing is where those applications and servers are hosted. What's changing is that instead of people being all together in an office, they're spread out working from home. They're having meetings via Teams and developing relationships with clients without ever having to get in a vehicle to see them. The proliferation of artificial intelligence and things like ChatGPT are opening up new avenues for businesses and communication. Microsoft will be rolling out something called Copilot later this year, which will integrate AI into your office programs. I've personally used ChatGPT to reword technical explanations, and honestly, when it's early in the morning and I haven't had enough coffee yet. Although there's many things that AI can and will do in the future, the consensus is that we're still in the testing and mess around phase. Derek Thompson has written some great stuff in the Atlantic about it and on his podcast, Plain English, talking about AI. Good thing is we're not at Skynet levels just yet. We're also seeing businesses leverage virtual and augmented reality to create new interactive customer experiences, especially in the architecture and e-commerce spaces. But as things change, we still see that cyber risks are at an all-time high. Users' email is still being compromised by brute force attacks. Spam email is still tricking people into providing an attacker remote access to systems, and people are still falling for spam phone calls that pretend they're from Microsoft or Amazon. We need to be ready for these threats. Personally, my wife's grandfather was recently a victim of one of these scams, and if it weren't for some well-timed intervention from a bank manager, he would have given thousands away to scammers. AI scams are also all the rage now. Scammers are mimicking celebrities' voices and using deepfake technology to create videos. Here's my advice. Just assume that's not really Shakira in your DMs. But to be agile and make changes, we first need to look at what we have. We need to figure out what should be replaced or upgraded in the near term and then plan for the future. If your PCs are more than 5 years old, you should probably look to replace them before they have hardware failure. If your firewalls and switches are 6 or more years older, they should be replaced. If your server is more than 7 years old, it might be time to invest in a new solution. Ensuring that your devices are up to date on patches and firmware is critical for security. Then knowing if the operating system of your PCs and servers is still supported by Microsoft is critical as well. The Server 2012 operating system will be at end of life at the end of October of this year. Running up-to-date and supported applications goes a long way with this because you'll have a peace of mind knowing that if you have an issue, you'll be supported by your application vendor. It will also give you the latest features to help improve your users' workflow. It's one thing to be up to date on your equipment, but producing a plan to train your users and having an emergency response plan is key to avoiding compromise and being able to react in the event that you do get compromised. I talk to my clients every day as a technical account manager about creating a culture of security in your business. If your business is not employing MFA and email and remote access by now, I'm not sure what we can do to talk about that. We definitely need to get those two things set up almost immediately. It's at a point now where that Microsoft is turning on security defaults, regardless if you want them to or not, that turn on MFA and block legacy authentication methods. Microsoft is removing user-controlled legacy MFA in September of 24. So even if you do have MFA, the type of MFA may change because having users be able to turn it off willingly is no longer acceptable. I'd be remiss if I didn't bring up backups as part of an overall security strategy, because having a backup solution that enables businesses to quickly return to operation in the event of a disaster is critical. SWK recommends a full disaster recovery solution for clients with an on-site server infrastructure because it allows them to spin up their servers locally and in the cloud in the event of a disaster, making the return to operation take hours, not days or weeks. The human firewall is also important as well. Ensure that your business deploys a security awareness training program that tests your users regularly through simulated phishing attempts and regular video training. So when they do get an email that looks suspicious, they will know better not to click on it. My wife's grandfather would have greatly benefited from this. A culture of security is created with boring internal policies like acceptable use policy to tell your users how to use their computers, having a policy to validate wire transfers, and most importantly, having a policy to react in the case of a cyber incident or in the case of a disaster. The longer you wait in these instances, the more damage can be done. Most cyber insurance companies demand that you have these policies in place, so have them and enforce them strictly. The last thing is to run vulnerability or penetration testing regularly to know where your gaps are and to close them. Some clients don't know if a port is open externally or that they're running an insecure version of TLS until after these tests are done. Knowing when it's time to move to the cloud is tricky. Knowing what you have in your workflow plays a major role in determining if a move to the cloud is right for you. Here's what I will say for certain. Having a single line of business application hosted in the cloud offers scalability and remote accessibility for your users. Having all your servers hosted in the cloud offers companies the ability to remove the large CapEx expenditure of buying a server and maintaining it for the 7 years of its life cycle. It converts the CapEx expense of the server into a monthly fee for hosting. But that also includes backup, allowing businesses to remove those backup costs and have peace of mind knowing that their servers just aren't their problem anymore. Cloud also offers the ability to scale with a growing workforce to add resources without having to buy new hardware. Hosting with SWK is an easy choice. We offer cloud hosting within our own SWK data centers at a lower cost than Azure and AWS, who charge for ingress and egress charges for data usage. Our costs are based on the number the amount of processor RAM and disk space per server, not the amount of data transactions that are processed. From a security standpoint, SWK's data centers are SOC 2 compliant and monitored 24/7 by a security operations center. But to kind of take all those things into account, we need to talk about the importance of budgeting. Budgeting in any aspect of your business is critical, but budgeting for IT often gets overlooked because some businesses just see IT as a cost. The businesses that we work with who see IT as a critical need and plan for their upcoming expenses have an easier time staying ahead of the curve because they know that in a given month, they could have a firewall renewal coming up, or that in 3 months, they will have to purchase a new battery backup device. Proper budgeting helps business avoid unexpected expenses. This should be done in conjunction with your overall business plan. Let's say if your business is hiring 5 more people, knowing around what it will cost to buy 5 new computers and how much their office licensing will factor that into that overall plan. As I state in the presentation, once your budget is complete, just add some padding in for inflation and other factors. If you come in under budget, you get to be a hero. Here's how SWK can help. First off, if you don't have a managed IT solution, SWK offers network assurance core, and server assurance plans to support and monitor your businesses from an IT perspective. These plans include regular business technology reviews that cover what we discussed earlier in the presentation. Side benefit, I'm a technical account manager who does these reviews, so you get to talk with me. SWK also offers cybersecurity solutions. We do MFA implementations regularly, deploy security awareness training, perform penetration tests, and help businesses create internal policies to keep them secure. Lastly, SWK has data centers where we host both applications and clients' entire infrastructure. Our cloud solutions offer predictable monthly hosting costs. As someone who gradually worked his way up from being a low-level help desk person to a technical account manager, I have a deep appreciation of the work that goes into every ticket that comes into SWK. The whole reason I went from being a help desk person to a pre-sales engineer to eventually a technical account manager was to help my teammates on the technical side. I wanted our clients to be standardized in working on new supported systems so their lives could be made easier. What our team does on a daily basis between working more than 100 clients a day on a vast array of different systems is incredible. It takes a special type of person to be willing to answer the call, knowing that the person on the other line is not just calling to tell you that you're amazing. They call because there's an issue, and doing that day after day at a high level is difficult. However, SWK accepts the challenge, and we're ready to help your business succeed and grow. We help so many customers that even have internal IT, so their internal IT can focus on core business activities. Our plans are affordable, and our staff is incredibly skilled. I can't stress that to you enough. The people on our technical staff are some of the best people I've ever worked with. I like to compare them to the Mandalorians of the tech world, and our clients to be our baby Yoda. We're going to take care of you and your IT needs, ensure that you're ready for the future. A brief overview of SWK's managed services. We offer cybersecurity solutions like Security Operations Center. We also have managed services like we spoke about in the previous slide. SWK is available to help if needed. We have an IT consulting services division that can help you with any problem or request to improve performance and security and provide any of the services you see here. And this is a special webinar offer for all our clients that listen to this webinar and reach out to us. There will be no onboarding fees for new customers. Thank you so much for joining our webinar. As a special gift to registrants, the offer stands in front with no onboarding fees for new customers. Details are below. And now next is a poll and Q&A.
Thank you, Mike. So like Mike said, we are going to launch a quick poll that we would appreciate your participation in, just asking if you'd like some more information, whether you want to dive deeper into the current state of IT, you want to take advantage of that free month of cybersecurity, learn more about our cybersecurity solutions or our managed cloud services, or just be followed up with a little farther down the line. We appreciate your participation for those who have already answered. And we're going to leave this open a little while longer. And during that time, it's also a great opportunity to go ahead and get any questions you'd like answered by the experts into your GoToWebinar chat or questions area. When we close down this poll, we're going to go ahead and jump right into Q&A, and Mike's going to answer any of the questions that you guys have. And thank you for everyone that's answered so far. We're going to close down the poll in just a few seconds. And thank you, everyone. So we're going to go right into Q&A. So if you haven't got your question in yet, go ahead and get it in there. And in the meantime, Mike, I'm going to go ahead and ask you some questions that have come through during the presentation. Absolutely. If you're ready.
I'm ready.
Awesome. So our first question is, what do you think the #1 IT priority should be for businesses?
Easy answer for me, it's cybersecurity. Everything flows from security, from how your employees interact internally with their clients, how permissions are set up for their file access. Everything flows from cybersecurity, in my opinion. So hardware, obviously PC, stuff like that, it's absolutely great, but if you're not thinking about how to protect your intellectual property as a business owner first and foremost, that's where I would start.
Okay, great, thank you. The second question we've got is, are you seeing more people move to the cloud or sticking with their on-premise servers when it comes time to upgrade?
I'm seeing more movement to the cloud, especially the clients that we work with at SWK. As server refreshes come up, they're seeing, I know definitely in a couple of cases just this quarter alone, I've seen some of my clients go, hey, I know we have a 7-year-old server. I don't want to spend the $20,000, $30,000 for the capital expenditure. Let's move to the cloud so we can be more agile as a business. Those things have been, we've been moving. We're seeing much more movement in the cloud than we have in the past. Yes.
Okay, good, very good to know. And I think, unless we have any last minute question submissions, I think that might be the 2 questions we had come through for you.
Right.
So with that said, I'm giving you a moment just because we do sometimes get those late submissions, but with that
I'm
said,
okay with that. Yeah. It's all good. Feel free to ask. I'm ready to answer, I'm happy to chat anybody's ear off at any given moment. Trust me, the people at SWK know this. And my clients are also very much aware that I will call them and talk their ear off for an hour. So.
Well, yes, and if you're out there and you're not having a question come to mind right now and it comes to you later, definitely reach out to whoever you know at SWK, or reach out to us at info@swktech.com, and we'd be happy to connect you with Mike and have that one-on-one conversation and get all your questions answered.
Absolutely, happy to have it. Happy to have the chat.
Yes, so with that said, I want to thank you, Mike, for a great informative presentation, and everyone who took time out of their day right before the holiday weekend to join us today. And with that, we hope you have a great rest of your week, a good holiday weekend. And yeah, thank you, everyone.
Thank you so much. Have a great holiday weekend. We're always here to help. Thank you.
Bye-bye.